Hello and welcome to Lee Stafford Education Live. My name's Mike Saunders and I'm going to be your host for the next hour. I'm super excited today because we're talking about products and services, which I'm extremely passionate about. And for me, it's all about the money. So I'm switched on straight away. So without further ado, I'm going to be handing you over to Paul Watts, who I believe we're going to have a slightly different live, but extremely powerful and informative as well. So I'm just going to bring Paul in now. There we go.
Hey everybody, how are we doing? How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, really good. How are you, mate? Good?
Yeah, good, thank you. Nice sunny day outside.
Yeah. I'm actually live from Southsea today, so from England instead of Denmark, so a little bit closer to home. And you're Kettering today, is it?
I'm in the Kettering salon today, in the studio at the minute, yeah.
Perfect, good.
Yeah, so you guys, welcome everybody. So what we want to do is we want to get you engaged as possible, because today we've got a few little surprises we want to show you. I see Laura's just said hi from Chichester, so hi Laura. So if everybody could just get comments in there or emojis. I've just said the sun is shining, so if you could put like a sun emoji in there, or thumbs up, or love hearts, because we're going to be asking for loads of questions today, because the topic is a really good topic and something that you guys as learners will be sort of transitioning to the salon. And it's something that isn't really spoken about too much when it comes to like goals and earning money and targets, and then the salon life and client experience. So this is what today is all about. And we've got some really cool things planned, including we've got another guest today, haven't we, mate?
We have got another guest. It's like the Little and Large show, I believe.
It is, yeah. So you guys will know them. They'll have probably been to college, but you never really see them both on live. This is why I want to get some questions to them. But the next guest that we're bringing on is Tony Wood.
Let's bring him in.
Hi, boys. How you doing, mate?
All good. Are you?
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. Yeah, I'm really excited about today as well. I think it's going to be a bit different, isn't it, boys?
It will be, yeah.
I'm looking forward to the questions that have come. I think there's going to be quite a few flowing, actually. I think it's going to be a really good day.
Yeah, the chat is sort of lighting up a little bit, so keep it going, guys. We're just throwing some questions in there. Everyone's saying hey, so hello.
I'm coming to you from the Isle of Wight, which is not quite sunny out there now as it was yesterday.
No,
but it's still nice. It's a bit fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh here. The sun's shining.
Good stuff.
I want to ask. Well, now Tony's on screen, I want you guys to hear a little bit about these guys in LSE, because these are a huge inspiration to me, as they should be to you, showing you the Vardas. But these guys were my mentors when I was a rookie. So Tony, just tell us a little bit about what you do with LSE.
Oh, thanks, Paul. That's really nice, mate. Yeah, we do work a little bit behind the scenes. I suppose we're kind of involved with a bit of organisation and bringing in stuff onto the Vardas, into the colleges. So yeah, we do a lot of that. We don't do so much of the live stuff, but it's good to get in the colleges, actually.
Yeah, jealous. I'm jealous. and Mike.
Yes.
What about you? What do you get up to behind the scenes with LSE now?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting actually, because what myself and Tony have done in the past is we will actually share the Lee Stafford recipes with the tutors at the colleges. So, but first of all, what happened was Lee shared them with us, and then we learnt them exactly the way Lee does them. Then we share them with the tutors, and they learn them exactly the way Lee does them. And then obviously the tutors are sharing them with their students. So we're all working from the same hymn sheet. Which is, I believe that's why it's extremely powerful. So yeah, that's basically what we do.
Amazing.
Standardization is king.
It is, yeah, it is. I mean, the pancake analogy blew my mind when I first got to it, and all you guys at college learning this method that you can sort of give to your assistants and you can pass on to stylists in the salons that you go on to work in. I think it's having a standardization that just you do everything like the same as a team. I think as a collective, it's like goals when it comes to salon life. Definitely for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so powerful as well. After, I mean, many years of hairdressers as well, realizing that actually we all just do the same stuff.
Yeah.
You know, all of it is the same. You strip it down to basics. We all do that. Great stuff.
Someone just
what we're basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be dropping into a salon cam. And what Paul's going to actually do is he's going to share his salon and his business with us. So we're actually downstairs in the basement at the moment, aren't we, Paul?
You will. Yeah, so this used to be an old bank. So we're currently in the money room. And that's that. Well, we're talking about money.
Money. Fantastic.
I'm in the money room where all the money used to be for Barclays Bank. I'll take you into the old vault, which is now a barber shop, and then I'll take you into, I suppose, the storage bit, which is now a coffee shop, and then progress through from the studio all the way to the sort of like the salon floor. So yeah, we've also got a dance studio in here as well at the back, which is my sister's. So I'll take you on a tour of the business and the salon, so you guys can really see working salon. I've got the guys in here today. We're an assistant down, so everyone's like a bit crazy, but it's all good. All good.
That sounds great, mate.
That's good, mate.
Right. So I am going to just jump onto Salon Cam and show you a little bit of the studio first, and then we'll go up to the salon. Well, we'll work our way through, and then we'll come back and we'll just discuss a little bit about sort of like treatments and retail and when we can sort of prescribe it to our clients and when they're in the salon visiting us.
Good. So while Paul's doing that, we might just get a little bit of feedback kicking in. So we're going to turn Paul off a moment, and me and Tony's going to just to talk just for a couple of minutes while he gets set up on his salon cam. So let's get that in. Here we go.
Yeah, Mike, can I just say hi, Bon? Thank you very much, mate. Lovely to see you. And hi, everyone at Chichester.
So Tony, can you just tell me a little bit about the business on the South Coast that you've got? Because you sort of had a salon or got a salon down there, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I began my first salon when I was 23, so it wasn't that long after qualifying. Started a small salon, but over the course of 30 years, built it into a really big salon, Tony Wood Hairdressing, in Portsmouth. But a couple of years ago, I sold that on to Liam Fry, who's also a staff. You will know him, and he now runs that salon. But I still go in now, still very much involved in it.
Fantastic. And now we're coming back into Paul live, who we can't hear you, Paul. Can you put your thank you very much.
Sorry. There we go. So you can all hear me? All good?
Very good, thank you.
Perfect, mate.
Perfect. So we're in the studio, and I was just doing a little sort of twist around. So yeah, this used to be the money room, and I turned it into a little YouTube studio when I first started YouTube in January 2020, but really got into it when lockdown happened and started to bring education weekly to YouTube, and then the whole LSE thing sort of progressed digitally as the world has. And this gave me a real cool space. So like all white background here for all my how-to work. I've then got this for like a talking head area name, and then just some lighting. And then this side is where I do bits for Joico, and I've got my heads. And these heads here are amazing. So I picked these up, and what these are, they're just magnetic, but I can draw all my sectioning patterns on them, and I can do it live when I'm doing a video. And then you've got all my setup here. So like camera's ready to go. When I finish here, I'll be filming this afternoon, the mics, the lights, everything. So any questions when it comes to digital or social stuff, get it in the chat, and Tony and Mike can throw it at me, because I can't currently see any of the chat messages.
No, we can manage that for you, no problems, Paul.
Lovely. So I'm just leaving the studio now through there. And then I'm into the old vault, and you can see the old door just here. And there's another this is the big vault door. So this was keeping all the money in here. And then in lockdown, we turned this into a barbershop. And this is called Chop and Brew. So here's the chop, and I'll take you through to the brew in a minute. But this is where he has people having coffees, you can see, or they're just waiting for their haircut. I'll take you to the barber chair.
So where did that idea come from then, Paul? I mean, you just turned around and said, oh, in lockdown, we turned it into a barber shop. Why did you make that decision?
So he did have a barber shop,
right,
in the town, but it was like a gentleman's sort of barber shop, and he was wanting to open up a coffee shop / something else, barber, keeping hair involved. And I inspired him. So he was a client of mine, actually. And we both worked at TK Maxx in different sort of time period. I quit TK Maxx and became a hairdresser. And then he was at TK Maxx and I was cutting his hair. And he said, I'd love to do hair. I would love to be doing what you're doing. He says, but I don't know if I want to do women's. I think I want to do barbering. I said, well, go for it, mate. So I helped him find a course, find a college, go off and qualify. And then he went traveling. So he went to Thailand and just took his scissors and his comb with him, and he made money there doing hair all over the place. Came back, opened up a little shop, and then in lockdown we sat down, had a coffee outside the front of the salon, just to catch up. Obviously lockdown was a crazy period, and he said, I said to him, I said, are you all looking forward to getting back to opening the shop? And he was like, I don't know how to tell you this. And I said, mate, no, like, I thought he was going to leave. And he says, I'm going to close it. I want to open up a new place. But he was looking for a place which was all brickwork, something quirky, something underground. And I just said to him, I said, well, where? He says, I don't know. He said, I can't find anywhere. I said, well, you've seen my basement, haven't you? So I brought him down here, showed him around, and he absolutely loved it. So it was the birth of Chop and Brew.
It's a really interesting. So does he actually like rent that space off of you then?
He rents this space off me, yeah.
Yeah, cool, excellent.
Yeah.
So you had an empty space there now, because obviously we're talking about products and services, and it's all about the money. So you basically had an area that you weren't using, tapped up with this guy who was a good friend of yours, and had this business idea, and now you have a revenue coming in from that space, right?
Yeah, because it was dead space. I mean, in here, I wanted to turn into a bit of a studio. This was going to be where I did hair, and then in there was going to be where I did talking head stuff and that. But when he wanted somewhere, I thought, well, mate, I've got this space. I already used that in there, so if you want this, let's get it moving. And he jumped a chance.
Good, excellent. And you've obviously just shown that we're not going to go back to the studio, but you've just shown us the studio where you do a lot of your YouTube, your YouTube content.
Yeah.
And Amber's just thrown a question in, and she's asking how many hours a week do you spend on your YouTube? Because you've got an incredible setup there, haven't you? It wasn't just a case of you working from a phone. You've obviously invested quite a lot of money and quite a lot of time in that, haven't you?
I have, yeah. And it happened slowly. So I started on my phone, and I'm on my phone now. So for anybody who is thinking about getting into YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anything, you've got, just use whatever camera you have at your disposal, because there's no point in spending loads of money on gear if you don't really know what you're going to do to begin with. So that's what I did. I started my phone. My first ever vlog when I worked in Holland for Joico was on my phone. I walked through the airport on my phone, and to be honest, I actually found it easier to vlog on my phone than I do carrying cameras around with me, microphones, because it brings so much attention. Like with this, I'm talking to you guys. It could just be I'm on FaceTime or anything, but with a big camera, people know you're filming. So I really found it easier with my phone, to be honest. But when it comes down to how many hours, so I do 2 long form videos a week, and then I edit obviously 2 videos a week. So I'm probably putting in around about, I don't know, 30 hours a week on filming, editing, coming up with ideas, planning.
That's
yeah,
incredible. Yeah, and
along with I still work in the salon sort of 5 days a week. I've just got back from Holland working for Joico. I was in Manchester the week before working for another company teaching, and I'm working with the LSE guys today teaching. So with all of that, I love it.
It's very impressive, mate. What I'm seeing and what interests me, Mike, is that myself and Mike started our salons both a long time ago, and what I'm seeing now is the incredible setup you've got. That's not just a hairdressing salon.
Yeah.
And the extra stuff you're doing is not only giving you inspiration and making you money as well, but that how inspiring that must be for your clientele to be coming into a place where you're offering all these different things, but also getting the feeling of the vibe. and also your team that you work with. You know, it's a massive step on, Mike, isn't it, from when we first opened our salons?
Like you said, from what we're seeing, it almost looks like we're looking. First of all, Paul, thanks for showing us around, and I know you haven't even taken us upstairs yet, but it's nice to get behind the scenes and see what's going on, and we can see now that you're entering into the coffee shop, which sort of blew me away a little bit. So could you explain to us a bit about the coffee shop and how that works for your business?
Yeah, so this space I rent out to one of my really good mates, and he's the barber, and then another good mate is the barista, and it brings in a completely different vibe, as you guys were saying. So clients can now experience either a coffee shop vibe if they want to come down here and have it developing, or they just want to come here for a quick catch up with their friends. I mean, it's closed on Monday, it's open Wednesday to Saturday, but it's just put in a completely different vibe to the business. I mean, it's a really cool area, really sort of London-esque, how it's underground. It's all, you can see, like wood and brick, and we'll get over there in a minute because there's a little bit of seating that you can see as well. But this has brought just a complete, like the environment. Clients notice the environment change and how there's now a barista sort of coffee, rather than, we were talking about this earlier, rather than just Nescafe or something out of a jar. We can now offer, I'll show you the menu actually. So there's the menu of coffees, and it is like just normal coffees. So you've got espresso, macchiato, americano, cappuccino, latte, flat white, special brews. They do cold brews. So when it comes to summer, they do cold brews. They do brew of the month as well, which is, and I'd like to see in the comments if anybody knows why it's called this for the month of March. So it's our brew of the month, which is currently the cinnamon latte. So one thing that the guys do, Shane being the barista, they have all their normal ingredients that they get from, it's 200 degrees coffee, but then with their brew of the month, they also make their syrups themselves at home. So when it comes to last month, February, it was Love Potion, and he sort of ground up strawberries and sugars, and he created this sort of strawberry syrup, and people were going crazy over it. And again, with the cinnamon, there's a donut in town that's called the cinnamon fritter, and people were going crazy over it. And then they sort of designed it around that as well. So, and then next month, it's all about spring and what springs in spring, and that is daffodils. So they're going to do a daffodil. And daffodil cold brew. So daffodil cold brew. So that's like a cold coffee, but it's got a hint of strawberry, orange. But he gave me a sample on Saturday, and it does taste like a Jaffa cake. It's unbelievable.
Paul, this is blowing my mind. This is all amazing. If this is what happens in the basement, I can't wait to see the salon.
Yeah.
I think we should have a little chop up. So we've got a couple of questions coming. Laura, I can see your question, and Tracy as well. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed these questions in when they're a little bit relevant. So Laura, I think when we're up in the salon, we're going to answer your question. And Tracy, while Paul's just taking us upstairs, he can answer that question as well. So Tracy's turned around and said, let me just check it out. What's your ideal day off? Do you actually get a day off, Paul? No, and honestly, I don't. This is
my day off, yeah. No, I don't, if I'm honest. I love everything I do. Yeah, I don't take a day off. I feel like I'm young enough to do it all. And while I can, I will. And setting up for the future, I've just always been a worker. And when I was training to be a hairdresser, I worked at Tesco. I did Tesco Wednesday to Friday, deliveries at night. Monday to Friday, I worked for my dad from 7 till 5. And then Monday, Tuesday night, I was at college doing hairdressing at night. And then Saturday, I had a Saturday job. And then Sunday was just to get ready for the next week, to be honest. So that was all while I was training to be a hairdresser. And then as soon as I got into a salon, I sort of put everything into it, and I haven't stopped, if I'm honest.
That's very cool.
I can't wait to see this salon now, Paul.
It's not there, Paul. Yeah. Isn't that Mike? Isn't that one of the great things about the industry? That's what
brew
I've always
now. Down here.
What I've always loved about it is it's the variation in hairdressing. I mean, the chance that you don't only just do hair or just do hair in the salon. You can get involved in so many things that are surrounding the industry, and that's what's always kept it exciting and fresh to me.
I've always thought that service industry of owning a restaurant or owning a hairdresser's, I think they're quite similar.
Yeah.
In some ways, we're just offering a different service or a different product at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
you can kind of go where you want, can't you, with it?
Let's look at this salon now.
So I'm just in the foyer. All the guys are working in there at the minute. So we were going to jump outside, but the signal drops. So we're just on the high street hotel, just here. The donut place is that one there, and then you've just got all shops and everything down there. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a little sort of client experience. So what people expect when they walk into a salon, or what you as a stylist will expect when you're working in a salon. So the client will come in from outside. This is just our little foyer area. So we've got our front door there. Setting the client out.
It's obviously Monday afternoon in the salon, Paul, and all your salons are open on a Monday.
No, I think we're the only one in Kettering that's open on a Monday.
Because Tracy's asked the question, why do big salons don't open on a Monday?
Why
do you think a lot of salons do not open on a Monday?
1 and 2 days off, consecutive days off. And to be honest, I don't really know. I mean, the world's changed, everything's changed, and I think our decision from the very beginning was because salons close on a Monday, we would open on a Monday, and that was it. But we just took advantage of it, and it's working out really, really well. So we're just going to walk into the salon now.
Fantastic.
I'm going to take you through what the client experience or the salon stylist experience will be. So the client will walk in, and then we'll be waiting here. So this is our section area. Booking system here, phone.
Wow.
And then once we check them in, we send them over to the booths. And what we were saying about Chop and Brew downstairs, the coffee shop. So this one just here, that's designed for Chop and Brew clients or clients of the salon. If they want to grab one of their coffees, they can go and sit in one of the booths. Or there's another booth there, which is just free to anybody anyway. So we're going to take a seat over there, and then I can answer any of your questions.
That's very cool, Paul. It's almost like a bar feel to it.
Mm.
Well, yeah, funny you say that. It used to be a bar. So when it was a bank, which was many, many years ago, then it was a number of bars. So okay. I'll show you. So you can see this area here. That actually was the bar, and then we just changed it up.
Oh, I see.
And, I'll take you behind there because we still use it as a colour bar. It's got all of our tools underneath it, and it's just a really great storage area as well. But it'd have been a shame to get rid of it, to be honest, because I think it was really expensive when it first got put in.
Paul, can I ask you a question?
Push can.
Where you're sitting now at the front there, the welcome area, do you do consultations there, or is that just literally for people waiting for their appointment?
Yeah, we do. So we'll do consultations here, or sometimes you can see that little waiting area just here, the blue chair with the coffee table and everything. We'll sometimes do consultations there. This is a really nice area to do consultations because you've got the table, we can spread out the colour charts, we can talk about things. And it's away from all of what's happening in the salon. But if we want to have a look into somebody's hair and have a look at like depth or like colour choices or anything like that, or haircut, we'll then take them over to the salon chair and consult there. But if this is just for where we want to really delve into either inspirations or something like that, we'll do our consultations in the booths as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And it's. Do you think that waiting area and that consultation is key to sort of keeping your clients over a longer period rather than just a one-off appointment?
Oh, definitely. I mean, consultations for me is probably the most valuable thing that we've got in our toolkit, because there's nothing, like, we've got everything in us, all this knowledge and all of this experience that we can give clients, and having our own area where we can sort of come away from it all and we can consult, as well as the chair. But yeah, I think having this whole experience of it, where we can take clients to different sectors of the salon and give them more of an experience rather than just straight into a chair and getting straight into it.
That's right. And I know that lots of salons are different sizes and shapes. So some salons do consultation at the front, some at the mirror. You know, there's not a right or wrong, is there? But I think that really adds to you know, keeping your clients longer and building that relationship.
Yeah, and it's more relaxed. I think as soon as people get in front of a mirror, people can sometimes get a little bit uptight. They can get a bit like, oh my God, I'm like jumping straight into it when I haven't really thought about what I wanted.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
And Paul, what's your timing on, say, a cut and finish at the moment? How long do you give to your clients for cut and finish?
An hour.
An hour, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So looking at your client journey, they're obviously coming into the salon, they're going up to the reception area, they're either sitting in a booth to have a consultation or waiting area, or they're being taken over in front of a mirror, depending on where you are. And obviously when your clients are like colour processing, they're then coming to the booth and possibly ordering a coffee from downstairs, which is coming upstairs for them,
Yeah, I mean, our heater, I'll show you just now. So when it's the colder months, a lot of clients do like to come and sit over here for development, because you've got the heat sort of pouring on them. But it's quite a nice, relaxed area to sort of sit, to be honest, rather than sitting in front of a mirror. Some clients do just say, oh, can I go and sit in the booth? Some prefer to stay at the mirrors. But yeah, a lot of people like to come over to the booths and just chill, because this is just the normal one that I was saying about. You can still order, so I'll just show you. There's to order the coffee. And then here's like the chop and brew one. So they've just rounded it up a little bit with just some little.
Yeah, it's very cool, isn't it, Mike?
With just some like little.
We're just losing him a little bit
on
his
back.
Wi-Fi.
So yeah, just to.
Good. Yeah, I think if we come back into the salon a little bit, Paul, then we just get you a little bit. If we come back into the salon a little bit, then we get you a little bit clearer. Then that's fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Paul, something I noticed on your reception, you've got TV screens. You play the news, or?
No, it doesn't play the news. So.
Probably just as well.
Where is it there? Sorry, these are all back to front. So what we have with the TV screens is just to show a lot of promotions or what's been happening. I know there is a bit on here of me and Mike when we were in Norway. I'm not sure how long into the video it is, but when we do like the LSE stuff, I'll come over here so you can see, but also see that. And yeah, I like to showcase what all the team get up to, and when we go on these events and all that sort of thing. So it just plays all in the back. When clients are sitting in the booths, they can see what we get up to. It does need updating, to be honest, which will be getting done soon. But yeah, it's just a really nice visual and some movement. Do you know what I mean? Having movement in the salon other than us buzzing about in the salon, just something that they can sit, grab inspiration from. Because what's playing now is the Joico intensities, so all of the vivids. And some clients just sit here and they look at it and they think, oh, that hair looks incredible. I wouldn't have it, but it just looks, it's just a real eye catcher.
It's really, really nice to sort of look around and see how impressive your business is, Paul. We've got a question coming in. It's from Bon, and he's. I mean, obviously, walking around the high street and looking at salons, your salon definitely looks very, very unique and very, very different. So, how did you come up with that idea? And what was your main theme when opening your salon, and where did you get the idea from?
Yeah, so I'm glad you noticed that. It's got a bit of a vibe. So my inspiration for years was always like All Saints, that brand All Saints, and I think at the beginning of their birth, they were doing things really differently, which is why you'll see a lot of skulls all about the place. and there's ram skulls like up on the wall. I'll show them when we walk past it. But just something really, I love space, and that's something. Even when I had really small salons, space was the number one thing for me, to give people time to breathe, or just to sort of move around in, not squeezing loads of chairs in, but giving just the impression of space. And if I just extend it, just so you can just get a bit of context, it's just really nice to have a lot of space. And I think that's always been the thing for me when looking at designing things and working. It was just always about having space, but quirkiness, like wallpapers were always a thing for me. And I'll show you this closer, but this is like dogs and deer. I'll take you to it now so you can see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So just having quirky little bits, and then under the bar, this is all like a marble effect. We used to have like a gold crocodile skin, but it got discontinued. So, and a bit got ripped, so we had to redo it all, unfortunately. But I like the marble; it's quite nice and fresh.
Good, Paul. We're actually 30 minutes into the live already.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think we could actually talk all day long, I think, on this subject.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try and get, for people watching, I'm going to try and get as much out of it for them also. So what I'd like to sort of just change the subject a little bit is back onto the subject of like products. You know, how important do you think it is to recommend products, to retail product? You know, or is it valuable to you, or is it valuable to the business? Yeah,
I mean, retail is a big part of it, because it's aftercare, where you're looking at hair 365 days of the year, and that's the only way we can do it. And we know that they are going to look after it. They take the retail products that we use in salon, that we trust, and that work with the colour lines that we use, or the styling products that we use, and how we sort of design their hair. And you guys, how you would be sort of styling it, maybe get it really smooth or loads of volume in there. You'd be using particular products like mousses and oils and waxes and creams and lotions to create these looks. And if a client, if they have a really stunning haircut by you guys, you use sort of 4 products, really nice shampoo, conditioner, and then they don't really take any, how are they going to be able to style that or look after that at home? And how we drop it in, we always drop it in consultation. And I spoke about consultation just a bit earlier, but yeah, consultations are the backbone to every service that we do. It's a chance for us to sit down with the client and understand what their expectations are, what they want from a service, what haircut, what colour. But then it gives us a chance to drop in where if you're going to have this colour, and this colour, you really need this shampoo, this treatment, this conditioner. If you want the conditioner to stay healthy, shiny, strong, or if we're doing a haircut and you've used, say, a cream, an oil, and a mousse, great, smooth, but a little bit of volume in there, and then we're going to finish it with a spray or a wax, then for them to achieve that at home, then they're going to need to really use what we use in salon. Would you guys think? Let's hear in the comments. What do you guys think in the classrooms at the minute? Do you think that is what we should be doing with our clients?
It's quite interesting. I mean, I think 100%, and I think by you offering that service, I think that you will build confidence within your clients, and also build a better relationship. I think once they trust you, then they will purchase off of you. And I think as long as you don't sell for the sake of selling, if there's a need and you're solving it, then they will gain confidence in you, and then next time you recommend the product, they will purchase that from you as well.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, I was saying earlier, don't see it as like we're selling.
One question in from Laura is, have you had any difficult clients to try to promote products to?
Yeah, lots. And one in particular I can think of, I only had her in on Wednesday because she mentioned it again. She would always see me as like a sales pitch with shampoo, conditioner. Why would she spend salon price on shampoo and conditioner when she can just go and get it from anywhere? And then there was one moment, I can't remember what made her change her mind, but something did. Maybe just me sort of talking about it all the time. She was like, all right, give it a break. I will try it. And she took it. And now she won't use anything else. She 100% understands why we promote professional products, because her hair's never felt so good, looked so good, The regrowth is a lot softer. The longevity of the colour lasts longer, the vibrancy and everything like that. So, yeah, I mean, she was a difficult person to prescribe anything to, but then she sort of just turned around and was like, look, I'll try it, and now she loves it.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Paul, could you I know lots of these questions I think we'll probably talk about downstairs when you get back.
Yeah.
But could you show us around the rest of the salon as you head back down? Because it looks so exciting there.
All right. So here's Danica.
Hello.
So what's your favourite product?
So my favourite product here is Dream Blowout because it's just good for like every blow dry.
Yeah, Danica loves doing like big and bouncy blow dries, doesn't it?
Yeah, big fancy blow dries, bonded, everything.
And what are you doing colour-wise today?
So today I'm doing a blue colour and just gonna gloss the end.
Nice. Lovely.
Lovely.
So my mum's in the basin. She's giving me a hover look. I'll tell you what I've done with her.
Oh, your mum's there, Paul.
My mum's in the basin. She's been rinsed.
Were you too busy to see her yesterday?
There's the back of her head.
There we go.
So with my mum's hair, it was always really quite tough to get her hair colour the way she wanted it because she's a level 5, really dark, and she always wanted to be platinum blonde. So today what we do now is she comes in every 4 weeks for a bleached regrowth, and then we use a mixture of like violets and ashes to get just a really clean base. But I think the main thing about that is the 4-week period between visits. And then we'll go beyond the colour bar while the girls are here. I know Anna doesn't want to, but...
Hi.
Hi.
So this is Stacey's just mixing up my mum's toner.
I am indeed.
Yeah. So what are we?
So we're going for a bit of beige blonde, a bit of pale blonde, and silver blonde. So we're doing equal parts, mix them together, and it'll give a really nice full tone.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then while we're here, this is the colour bar. You can see all our colours all along here. The developers and then Stacey.
Can you show us around the salon, Paul, from there as well? Because it's a nice little viewpoint, isn't it? Yeah, very cool, mate. Very cool space.
Well, yeah, I mean, from a bank to a bar, and then to a salon.
Yeah, really cool.
So we're currently just standing at the reception. So when we walked in, this is where our receptionist would be, or stylist would be waiting. They come in that door here, and then there's our booths. Then, so we're 40 minutes in. Shall I head back down into the studio and we'll answer questions?
Yeah, I've got one for you in a minute.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's get downstairs.
Paul, thanks for showing us the salon. That looks great.
Yeah, while Paul's taking us back downstairs again, Tony, how would that differentiate to your business on the South Coast?
Tonywood Hairdressing is set in a beautiful mock Tudor clock tower building. So it's got a luxury of being in a really historic old building. And I think we've sort of used that and created like a real vintage cool look to it. So quite a different vibe from Paul's, but I think like Paul is just playing on the strengths and playing on what I was into and Liam's into. I think that's what it's about. Your salon really shows your personality off, and that in turn shows off to your clients. The clients you want.
Incredible spaces.
Yeah, I love both your salons. When you had them, like they're both lovely spaces.
Yeah, and we've been to that one, Paul. We've been to look through the window of that one, haven't we?
You have.
One of your other ones as well. Yeah, it's got a great feeling to them.
Yeah, thank you.
Something I noticed upstairs. I wanted to ask you.
Mm.
Your team, and I know it's a Monday, so probably less of them in, but they all look super cool, mate. They all look really what's the word? They just look their personality shines through a bit. And I noticed one of the girls was wearing like combat trousers and stuff.
Yeah.
So do you not have a uniform as such?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm always in black. It's very slimming. But no, I mean, that I want them to express themselves as much as they can to bring in whatever vibe or whatever client they want to attract, because that's one of the things when it comes to attracting the clients you want. And over recent times, I think it's okay for clients not to want to come to you and want to go to somebody else because of the way that you sort of put out your vibe, because your vibe attracts your tribe. And that is something I've lived with, where I tend to put out, or try to put out, like experienced sort of not. I used to be quite quirky, but as I've got older, more of like a solid head, I suppose, and that's why my clientele is more of like an older clientele now. And then you see those guys up there; they're all doing like rainbow colours, loads of balayage, loads of foiling techniques, and everything. And that's just because the sort of market that they're aiming themselves at. That's what they get. As soon as a client walks in the door and they sort of look around, they're like, oh yeah, they look cool.
Yeah, brilliant. We also didn't have a uniform in Tony Wood Hairdressing, still don't have a uniform. Yeah. But I know some salons do have a uniform, and I think that looks really cool as well.
I do, yeah.
It's just distant places. But how important is it how your stylists present themselves to their clientele?
Oh, massive. I mean, I used to have some come in where, I was talking about this on Saturday actually, where they'd come in, their hair wasn't done, it was like Monday, they'd been out all weekend, and it's just like, so I'd always sit them down in a chair, I'd either run a brush through, straighteners through, tongs through, because you've got to be presentable for any job that you do. If you love what you do, you will want to look your best, act your best, and do your best for it. And because we're sort of projecting our own vibe to potential clients, to our clients that we currently have, and that's what we want to give off. Because a client actually said to me, when we were talking earlier about social media and how it's changed the business, my last client on Saturday, I had a cancellation Friday at 4 o'clock. She was watching me on YouTube at 5 o'clock. She jumped on our online booking, booked it at 6 o'clock. She was here on Saturday at 4 o'clock. And within 24 hours, she'd watched me. She drove from Stoke, and I'd cut all her hair off. So
brilliant.
Even with social media, like we're saying, uniform. I mean, my guys sometimes say, "Oh, I'd love to have a uniform," and then I sort of think, "Well, I wear black all the time, so why don't I bring a uniform in?" But it's because I want them to have their own sort of quirks and vibe. But the way that you can project yourself on social media now, you can create your own grid on Instagram, your own grid on TikTok, your own YouTube channel, TV channel as such, and project yourself to potential clients all over the country or the world. Because I've currently I keep going back and forth with a lady in Sweden. She's been watching me since lockdown, and she wants to come over and me cut her hair. And it's not just local anymore. Like, social media completely opens up your world to clients. And if they can't get their hair cut in Sweden, and they see that you can cut hair, they're going to come to you.
That's cool. Yeah. So anyone that's training at a college, one of our colleges, if they've got a certain fashion or style, would you say if they look around for the right salon, they'll fit in, and it's not important? It's more about how they're projecting that style, that fashion.
Definitely. And I think you've got to look for the salon that fits you, not you fit the salon. I mean, there'll be plenty of bosses out there that'll get you on and maybe try and want to mold you into their sort of regime or regimen. But I think it's staying true to yourself now. And I think when we get people come in, and I've interviewed a lot of people, and it's like, oh, like that doesn't really fit, and they probably think the same. It's like, oh, actually, I don't want to be in that environment. I want to be in a different environment. You've got the likes of like Sassoons, very clinical, very white, and that's not my vibe. As much as I love Sassoons, I that whole clinical vibe, I don't think would suit me, my personality.
Yeah, that's all changed a lot over the years as well, isn't it? I mean, I remember going back a little bit where it was people used to come to interviews and cover their tattoos.
Yeah.
It's almost part of, you need those tattoos to get the job, kind of thing. So
yeah.
I got kicked out of college for wearing a skirt. So
maybe
this was mid-80s. It's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, you couldn't do that now. You'd be suing them. But there's a question from Jamie Lee.
Yeah, Jamie Lee's got a question coming in. What tips would you give someone who wants to open up their own salon in the future?
Tips would be a good accountant. I think that's massive. But just having a why. Like why do you want to nurture young hairdressers coming through? Do you want to have it just for you, so you can work by yourself and bring your own vibe, bring your own tribe into your own space? But just keep educated. And I think that's been the biggest thing for me all the way through my career, where I was, like I was saying, I was working multiple jobs just to put myself through college, and I never stopped learning. And that was the point for me, where I worked my way up through a salon so quickly that I got to manager, and then they decided they were going to sell it, and then I bought it, and I just haven't stopped educating myself, whether it be on hair or business. It's just staying on top of trends, on top of trending topics. But from a business point of view, good accountants who can work on all the things that we don't really understand as hairdressers.
Well, Paul, we're working with like level 2, level 3 learners. Okay, and
Yep.
I know that they need to do their maths in hairdressing. We turn around and say, "Why do I need to do my maths? You know, I want to cut and colour hair." Okay, and the first thing we ask you with a question is, you know, what tips would you give someone? You've turned around and said, "Get yourself a good accountant." Okay,
Yeah.
why is that so important, Paul?
Well, a good accountant, a good solicitor, because you've got a lot of numbers. I mean, as a hairdresser, we do numbers all day, every day. We're formulating different colours. We're working at different finger angles. So we need to know everything there is about the whole mathematics to hair dressing as such. I mean, and if you are incredible at maths and you want to do your own books as such, then yeah, 100%. But I just think having a good accountant who can really help you push through all of the stuff that we haven't really got time as a salon owner, the time factor, where if you're working with a big team, you wanted to do education, you want to do shows, you want to do all of this, an accountant is just there doing a really solid job of protecting everything that you're bringing in. And then with a solicitor, someone who understands like commercial leases, the factors surrounding commercial leases. I know we were talking earlier about being really open in these situations, and I will be really open with this. My old salon just around the corner, we had a clause in our lease, and our solicitor at the time missed it, and we had a dilapidation part of our lease, and our old landlords were demanding £27,000 when we moved out, because they wanted to rejuvenate it all. It all sort of materialised that they were going to sell it anyway, so they were demanding too much money, because if someone was buying it, then they were going to do it their own sort of look anyway. But yeah, we got stung for £10,000, and that was going on for 4 years, and that finished 2 weeks ago.
Paul,
So,
I think this goes back to your earlier point, though. If you know, about opening your own salon, you think about why you want to do it, because I think we've all had similar experiences, and you go very quickly from being just a stylist to a business owner, don't you? And all that entails. So yeah, it's a amazing whirlwind journey. But yeah, your point about why is really key. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what when we're educating and we're taking off our educator hat and we're hairdresser hat, and then we've got a business hat now, and we've got a sort of a solicitor hat and an accountant's hat, and then customer service hat. We've got all these hats that because we're a salon owner, we're at the top. Like people want like to come to you to find out everything, and it's really difficult as a salon owner to keep interchanging all these hats. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I absolutely love it.
So Paul, just bringing you back, we've probably got about 5 minutes left actually.
Yeah.
Talk about products and services. So let's get back into the services again. How do you price your services? And I know we spoke a little bit, and we said you're quite open to talk about this.
Yeah.
So I turned around and said, Paul, how much do you charge for a cut and blow dry? How much do you charge for a cut and finish? So Paul, how much do you charge?
£65 for a cut and finish.
Yeah.
That's me, and then it ranges from 35. And then goes up to 41, then up to 47, and then 54. That's how our pricing structure is within the salon. And then
how do you come up with those numbers?
Putting in a big enough differentiation between them, to be honest, at the beginning, where it's seen as a big enough jump or investment to jump to the next level.
Yeah.
But the reason for coming up with those figures is because for covering costs. I mean, I look at, you've got to cover wages, electric, your products, all your bills, card machine, bills, everything. Everything is in those prices. So when I look at a stylist and what level they are or how popular they are, and then we structure these pricing points in that will cover those costs. And then when they start getting booked up, say 2 months, 3 months in advance, then they move up to the next level. And then hopefully they'll sort of drop off probably 10% of their clients, maybe 16%. But then that opens up room for new clients to then come in and wanting that level. And then they're charging their worth again.
And I think we get it all the time, don't we? People turn around and say, you must be loaded. You know, £65 a haircut, £60 for a colour. But I mean, once we break that down, you've got something that's costing £50 for a service, whatever it is. By the time you've taken your VAT off, which is 20%, and then you've got your wages, you've got your product, you've got your electric, you've got your music that you're playing, you've got your rent, rates, water, coffee, car machines, towels, salon maintenance, an assistant that necessarily isn't earning money. Yeah. You know, that profit margin comes down and down and down and down, doesn't it? And sooner or later, you can even get into a position where one of your services is actually costing you money and not making you any money. Would that be true to say that?
Yeah, 100%. And there is a statistic of how much a salon owns per pound. Can anybody guess what it is? I'd be interested to know. So per pound, how much do you think a salon earns per pound? I'll give you just a couple of minutes just to pop that in, because I know there's a bit of a delay. But it's not a lot at all. I mean, when we're looking at price points and everything, and this is why retail, guys, is so important. A pound? Oh no, mate. Yeah, of a pound. So this is why retail is so important, because it's the upsell. The salon owners already invested in all of this. This is dead money sitting on the shelf, and we need to upsell it, because then that gives us a little bit more of a margin to play with to be able to invest in education or send like you on trips or stuff like that. But going back to my answer, it is 3p.
Wow.
3p per pound.
People wouldn't believe that, I don't think, but yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah,
you were just saying something then, Paul, about retail on that. That's all key and part of that. So your team, how important is it that your team have a real understanding of the product range that you stock?
Yeah, massive.
Do you have an expectation of them?
Yeah. I expect them to know what the product does, what's in it, why is it in it, and what the end result will be using that product. So like the Lee Stafford products, we don't use them in salon, but I do use them all the time. Joico is my salon brand because it works with the colour that I use, but we have like a quadramine complex or an RG-plex, and I expect them all to know what all those plexes and ingredients do to the hair to be able to give the end result. Because if a client sitting in the chair and they're like, oh my God, my hair looks amazing, how did it do this? And well, it's an oil. Like all oils do that sort of thing. Whereas oils do that, but why do they do that? What's in them to make them really stand out from a supermarket bought product to a professionally bought product?
I'm going to put you on the spot here, Paul. What would you say to a stylist who turned around to you and said, I just want to do hair, I don't like selling products? What would your answer be? Then
you're not doing your job. Because like I said upstairs, like our job is to look after people's hair 365 days of the year. And we do that. If you get in the mindset of thinking, oh, I've done my job, I've got tools down, they've had their cut and colour, that's it, I'll see them in 6 weeks. 6 weeks is such a long time where they could be using anything. They could be going on holiday, could have gone on holiday 4 times in that time, hair bleached out, really frazzled. They come back to you and it's like, oh my God, you've got so much work to put that back. Whereas if we'd have prescribed or even had a little bit of interest in consultation as to be like, so in the next 6 weeks, what are you doing? Are you working loads? Have you got any trips planned? Do you swim a lot? Do you go gym a lot? and then you find out, oh yeah, actually I'm going Dubai, I'm going Australia, and I'm going here. It's like, God, like you're a platinum blonde. Your tone is going to be completely gone. Your condition's going to be shot, and your hair will be really dry. So what you really need to be taking from me today is this, this, and this. And then that will keep your hair looking perfect while you're away. And then when you come back in 6 weeks, what we'll do then is sort of like reconvene.
So what I'm hearing, Paul, from you overall, sort of summarising a little bit, is from yourself, your salon, and your team, it's all about looking after clients, but also giving them this like big round, a whole round picture with all the products and the services and the different things that you do in there. And do you think that's why people come to your salon, not the salon up the road?
Yeah, part of it. I think this is one thing we did as well. It's like we had a list where if you could name something that other salons didn't do, that could go on the list of what makes us us. So a lot of people say, oh, service. And they're like, oh, what, so-and-so don't do a good service. Oh, they do a good service. Oh, so you can't have that on your list. And the one thing that it comes down to, part of, is retail. It's looking after people's hair, because you find most salons, it's working at what, 3%, 7%. And if we can just offer, even if they don't take it, if they just think, right, that advice is vital, and like Mike was saying earlier, then maybe next time they might buy it. But they buy into you, they buy into your brand, and they see you more as a professional rather than just someone who just does hair.
So, Paul, it's been, I mean, we've been going for nearly an hour now, and I feel we barely touched the sides, really.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's been an extremely different live for us this hour with you. Not an easy subject to do live, but it's been really, really interesting and informative to be taken through your salon. And thanks for being open and sharing that with us.
Pleasure.
Tony, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. One of my good friends, Tony. Tony, would you like to say a few words just to wrap that up?
Just really thank Paul. Paul, you've not only showed us an amazing salon, I mean, 5 in business, obviously, but I think you've shared with us a snapshot of the industry where it is in 2022. And, you know, there are lots of really, really good salons in every town. There'll be good salons like yourself doing that. So thanks for showing us around that in that detail.
Yeah, mate, pleasure. I absolutely love doing these lives. And it's been lovely doing it with both of you two, because one thing I have missed is being your rookie.
I just want you two to do that trick before we go.
I don't know if we can do it, can we? We're going to go that way. There we go.
Oh, look, that's perfect. Yeah. But we've got nothing better to do with our time.
No,
That's been a pleasure, boys. Thanks for inviting me on.
Goodbye. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for everybody watching.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up with you next Monday, probably.
See you later, boys.